Welcome back to another What's for Dinner. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie and I do food related content here on this channel. I love making these videos, hoping that it might give you guys some new dinner ideas and inspiration. Today's video is all about quick and easy meals that are perfect for those busy weeknights. And all of these meals were fabulous. So I hope you will like them as much as I did. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, please consider doing so by hitting that little red subscribe button below and click on the notification bell so that you're notified when I post a new video. So I'm super excited to be sharing these recipes with you. So let's head on over to the kitchen and let's get started. So we're going to kick off the week with one of my family's favorite, a super simple ravioli lasagna. To get started, you're going to want to cook about a pound of ground beef. And I'm also going to be adding in 1 chopped onion, as well as some salt and pepper. And I'm just gonna let this cook all the way through. Once your ground beef is cooked, you're gonna remove the excess fat, which I've already done. And you're going to add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. So I'm gonna let this cook for about 30 seconds, just long enough for the garlic to become fragrant. Now you're going to grab a jar of your favorite pasta sauce and you're going to set 1 cup of it aside and then pour the rest into your pan with the ground beef. I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I'm going to mix it all together and I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes just to allow the sauce to develop some flavors. Now you're going to grab some of that sauce that you had put aside earlier and place a little bit on the bottom of a 9 by 13 inch pan. Adding a little bit of sauce on the bottom like this will keep the ravioli from sticking to the pan and drying out underneath. Next, you're gonna add the first layer of your favorite fresh cheese ravioli. I'm using ricotta and spinach, and I'm using fresh, not frozen. Now, you can use frozen if you prefer, but keep in mind that when you cook with something frozen, it always creates its own liquid, which means that your sauce might end up a lot thinner. Okay, so now as you can see, I did cut some of the raviolis in half just to make sure that it fits in the pan properly and that it covers the entire surface. And then you're going to add about half a cup of your ground beef on top of the ravioli, followed by a layer of mozzarella cheese. Now I'm going to add my second layer of ravioli. This layer will be a little bit different. So after layering your ground beef and your mozzarella, you're also going to be adding a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. All that's left to do now is to add a final layer of ravioli, the rest of your sauce, and of course, some more cheese. Now you're going to pop this in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. It all depends on your oven, so be sure to check up on it. Here it is out of the oven. You want to keep it in until the cheese is nice and golden and that the lasagna is completely heated through. I just love how simple this is to make. It's great for busy parents or for a busy weeknight. It's also kid-friendly and it's delicious. This salsa chicken is one that I like to make when I don't feel like spending too much time in the kitchen. It's very tasty and you only need a few ingredients to make it. To get started, you're going to spread about half a cup of your favorite salsa to the bottom of a 7 by 11 inch or a 2-quart baking dish. And then you're going to add 4 chicken breasts right on top. Now you want to make sure that your chicken breasts are similar in size so that they cook more evenly. You can also add beans or frozen vegetables in here if you want, and this cooks really well inside a slow cooker. Next, you're going to sprinkle 1 package of taco seasoning on top of your chicken, followed by 1 more cup of salsa, and you're just going to make sure to spread it evenly all over your chicken. So we will be adding cheese to this, but first I'm going to place this in my preheated oven at 375 for 30 to 40 minutes until my chicken is cooked through. All right, so my chicken is cooked. You want it to have an internal temperature of at least 175 degrees. That means it's safe to eat. You don't want to overcook the chicken or else it will get tough. Okay, so now I'm just adding some cheddar cheese on top and I'm going to put this back in the oven for another 3 to 5 minutes, just long enough for the cheese to melt. This chicken comes out juicy and full of flavor. This night I just served it with some rice and added sour cream and green onions on top. So just go ahead and add your favorite toppings, whatever you prefer. This is such a great family dinner and I hope you'll give this one a try. This next one is my go-to recipe right before grocery day when we barely have anything left in the fridge. This beef and macaroni bake is made with simple ingredients that I almost always have in my pantry in my freezer, and it's also my husband's and my oldest son's favorite. So the first thing you're going to do is cook about 2 pounds of ground beef, and then I'm also going to add 1 chopped onion as well as a little bit of salt and pepper. The secret ingredient for this is a Montreal steak spice. Do not skip this, it makes such a huge difference in this dish. So go ahead and measure it with your heart. I know that some of you do need exact measurements. I usually just eyeball this, but I will have measurements for you in the description box down below. Now you're just going to let this cook all the way through, and in the meantime you're going to cook your pasta. So I have a large pot of salted boiling water here, and to that I'm going to stir in 4 cups of macaroni. I'm going to cook this for about 10 minutes or so, just until they start getting tender. You don't want to overcook them because they will be going in the oven. Okay, so my ground beef is cooked and I've already removed the excess fat. So now I'm going to add in 2 cans of tomato soup. Another reason I love this recipe is that it gives us leftovers, so we do get at least 2 meals out of this. Now, if you don't need as much, then you can always cut the recipe in half. Going to stir this well, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 6 to 7 minutes. Noodles are cooked and drained, so now I'm going to mix in the ground beef mixture, and I'm also going to add in some marbled cheese. You can add as much as you want. I did about 2 handfuls, and you're going to mix this till the cheese is completely melted. And once the cheese is melted, we're going to spread it into a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. Top it off with some more cheese. Again, add as much as you want. So looking good. So now you're going to place it in the oven at 350 for about 20 to 30 minutes until the cheese is melted and bubbly. So here is our beef and macaroni bake. Like I said, it's super simple to make. I love serving this with some garlic bread or with a side of salad. It's really good. If you do decide to make this, then I hope you will like it too. I am making this delicious 1-pot cheesy sausage pasta. So to get started, you're going to need about 1 pound of sliced up smoked sausage. Then you're going to heat up some oil in a pan, about 1 tablespoon or so, and you're going to add in 1 chopped onion. I'm just going to quickly season this with some salt and pepper, and then I'm going to add in my sausages. Going to give this a quick stir, and then I'm going to let this cook until the sausages are lightly browned. Now I'm adding 1 heaping tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'm going to let this cook for another 30 seconds till it becomes fragrant. I'm now going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. Then I'm going to add half a cup of heavy cream, which is also called whipping cream. And I'm also going to add a 10-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I'm using the one with Italian spices just to give it even more flavor. Now I'm adding half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, and half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Going to mix this well. Now I'm going to add in my pasta. I'm using bow ties, but you can use whichever pasta that you prefer. This is about 3 cups of pasta. Going to mix this well. Then I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for about 15 minutes until my pasta is cooked. So now that my pasta is cooked, I'm going to turn off the heat, remove the lid, and I'm going to stir in half a cup of cheese. I'm using some Monterey Jack with jalapenos that I mixed together with some cheddar cheese. I think this is the perfect blend for this dish. It's so good. Then I'm going to add some more cheese on top. Going to cover it and just let it sit for about 5 minutes till the cheese is completely melted. So as you can see, the cheese is melted, so now I'm just going to top this off with some green onions, and then I'll be ready to serve. So this is what it looks like once it's all done. This meal was fantastic and so simple to put together. I highly recommend that you try this one. It was absolutely delicious, so much flavor in this one. My family loved it, and I'll definitely be making it again. Alright you guys, so that is it for this video. I really hope this gave you guys some dinner inspiration, and I hope if you do decide to give these recipes a try that you will love them as much as we did. I'll have them linked in the description box down below so you can go check that out. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and as always, I will see you again in my next one. Bye guys.